Why are the rents increasing in Lagos, and what can be done about it? I think this is the most common question I've had to answer this year, 2025. Lagos is the economic hub of Nigeria. It is a city of endless opportunities. I mean, we can see in the last index of how much state contribute to the country, how much Lagos state contributed alone, 4 point something trillion. So it is normal for it to attract thousands of people on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. It's normal for people from other states, other country to want to come and stay or do business here in Lagos. As such, the demand for houses is growing also on a daily basis, and people are struggling to cope with this demand. So the existing landlords are taking advantage of this opportunity. But before I dive further, let me share a word of wisdom with you. Whenever you're being served the rent increment notice, there is no point for you to get upset. There is no point for you to be angry. Rather, what I advise you to do is to try and renegotiate your rent. So let's take, for example, you are paying 1 million naira for a 2-bedroom apartment anywhere, and they take it to 3 million naira. The best thing I would advise you to do at that point is to place a call to the property manager, to your landlord, and say, girl, I mean, nobody is oblivious of what we are going through in this country at the moment. So it is right for them to reconsider if you speak to them appropriately. Why do I say this? Because it is their property. They have the right to do whatever they want to do on that property, and you can absolutely do nothing going about it aggressively. And I hear people also saying, why can't the government come in and intervene? Why can't the government try to regulate the price? If the government tried to regulate the price of rent in Lagos, they would have to regulate the price of every other thing. So instead of the government trying to come in and regulate the price of rental properties in Lagos, these are things the government can do. The government can start by tackling inflation. Right now, the cost of building a house is very expensive. The price of cement have gone up, the price of roads have gone up, the price of paint, the price of plumbing materials, electric materials, they've gone up by over 400%. It is now difficult for a person to build a house in XYZ amount, and then you're expecting him or her to collect less than 8, 10, or 5% for an annual income in that house. It is impossible. Now, the government can also create infrastructure. I mean, look at Ekpe now. It's trying to open. Look at Ibeduleki. They are trying to open. What you should try to imagine is once they finish that coastal roads and open up new axes, so it means people can actually now stay in Ekpe and work in the city center here, which I think would also stable the price of rent, because there will be more houses available in demand at that time. Another thing the government can do is reduce their taxes, their land use charge, and the cost of getting building approvals, COFO, and all other legal documents. I think it would also reduce the price of constructing the property in the first place. And then the government needs to introduce policies that would make people go into mass housing development. The government themselves need to encourage housing development. The government needs more housing development themselves, because they are not building enough. I mean, how can you be celebrating commissioning 3,000 homes in the city that has over 13 million residents and all of those things? And then another thing that can be done is to try to stabilize the naira. I mean, the devaluation of the naira has done a lot of harm currently than good, even if they keep on saying we are going to see the bright side of it later in future. Right now, the devaluation of the naira has made it more difficult for developers to import things into this country, which has also affected the cost price of building a house. So the moral of this video is, when your landlord increase your rent, always try to renegotiate that rent before packing out, before getting upset, before taking any further actions. I mean, we are all going through a lot in this country, and they themselves can see it. So, and landlords yourself, it is appropriate for you to temper justice with mercy. So until we see again, do take care of yourself.